Don't you just love it when people say they're going to do something and then it turns out that they're actually not going to follow up with what they originally said? And if you haven't guessed already, well, this is going to be a follow-up video from the previous video I posted on this channel, which was COD's biggest ban. As we thought. I mean, obviously it wasn't the biggest ban because we're only banned for 48 hours, but as a Call of Duty ban, the most people were banned. And to be honest, I just want to talk about the ban overall. First of all, as we saw at the start of the video, they said they're going to do this, which is basically temporarily suspend us and remove our stats and our leaderboard entry and stuff like that. I'll put it on your guys' screen so you can read it. And for all you internet users who don't have good internet connection and can't watch this video in more than 360p, I guess, you get the benefit of the doubt here because I'm going to read it out to you. The first offence is user will be temporarily suspended from playing the game online, will have their stats reset, emblems and paint jobs reset. We don't have paint jobs, by the way, just so you know. Will have split online privileges revoked, and also will have their leaderboard entries deleted. So half of these things aren't in the game yet for a start off, so it's not a good guideline to go by when you say you're going to do something from a standpoint of being a developer of a game with a franchise that's had a good backing for a lot of years. And it doesn't exactly help now the fact that it's gone downhill and snowball affected ever since, I'd say, Call of Duty Ghosts. Which again, I mean, Infinity Ward made Ghosts. Did they not learn? Did they not learn to make it better? Well, apparently not, because they used the same dull colour traits what they had in Ghosts for like maps like Stonehaven, and thought, you know what, we're going to have kind of dull colour effects Stonehaven had on every single map in the game, or we're just going to use overall different tints and shades of the same colour. I mean, an example here would be Frontier. I mean, I know that rhymed, but still, it just doesn't have much vibrance to the game or diversity with colours within each map. And to be honest, I can't really be arsed going over everything that's wrong with Infinite Warfare, because we'd be sat here for 20 minutes with about 20 ads on the video, so you guys wouldn't even want to watch it anyways. And if you did get this far, we're going to talk about the ban now. So what happened with the ban? The ban. People who got banned, like myself. I mean, I wasn't worried, but a lot of people on Twitter were complaining about getting their stats reset and like, oh, hashtag Black Ops 3 year 2. It's not going to fucking happen. You're not going to get reset. To my surprise, I was right. First of all, I knew they weren't going to reset anybody because that is revoking players from playing their game. The lower the player count, the lower the popularity, even though we can't see it, but the lower the amount of people who we can see playing it, like on websites like Twitch or streaming on YouTube Gaming or anything like that, the numbers would be incredibly low, which gives the franchise as a whole a bad name for the future. And speaking of the future, since we've gone so far into the future, a lot of people already don't like the game anyways. So why would they stop people from playing the game when realistically, Infinity Ward need more people to be playing the fucking game? I made this tweet earlier today, right? And it could not be more true. I think this is the truest tweet, real talk tweet that I've ever made. So basically, if you haven't followed me on Twitter already, it's in the description down below if you want to see all my absolutely AIDS comments about whatever I may have to say through the day or communicate with people, it's down there. But I said, if someone woke me up from a coma and I missed 2009 and I missed up until now when Infinite Warfare is released, and you told me that Infinity Ward made both games, I'd laugh in your face. And honestly, that statement still applies right now. I mean, not only because of the fact I've recently tweeted it, but if you think about it, how in the fuck did we get from Modern Warfare 2 to the likes of here, which is Infinite Warfare? At what point could anybody have predicted a change like that? And if you think about Call of Duty space in between Modern Warfare 2 and Infinite Warfare, imagine that same space chucked over from Infinite Warfare to whatever we have to see in the future. Or will there even be the future of the future, because the game's already futuristic as it is? I just don't know. But overall, the player count, when we saw it in Black Ops 1, it was probably at its peak, and that's probably why a lot of the franchise is mimicking things from that game, you know, like the first appearance of the RC car, the RCXD, which is now known as the Scarab, which they haven't still fucking taken out of the franchise yet. So speaking of taking stuff out, when this ban hit, we thought, whoa, we're going to get our ass whooping for doing wrong in the game. I mean, if it was Modern Warfare 2 or the likes of Black Ops 1 with the player count there, a lot of people, if not the most of the community, would be on the legitimate player side. Well, not entirely. They didn't, first of all, go with what they said they were going to do, which is the most irritating thing when someone says, or a developing company says they're going to do one thing and does the complete opposite. So what did they do with this ban? Well, I mean, we couldn't play for 48 hours. Boo-hoo. So when we finally could get back onto the servers, what had changed? Well, first of all, there was more than 600 new items in the game, which, whoa, miraculously appeared. We didn't see that coming. I mean, supply drops. They definitely didn't want to, you know, boost the sales, compensate for the sales of the game against Black Ops 3 or any other Call of Duty to make them rise. They definitely didn't want to do that. The leaderboards aren't in the game. and we only got our salvage and keys taken away from us. I had none anyways, so I had no repercussion. I'm not saying I want to be banned, I'm just saying if you're going to do something, do it. If you're going to say something, then at least follow up with it, and then I will respect it. But if you don't, and if you do something bitchy because you know that the franchise or something for money will entail you being in jeopardy to losing money, that is very sad, especially as a Call of Duty developing company. Infinity Ward were scared to ban us. A lot of people did this glitch, and it was game breaking. And we all knew that supply drops would take over in Call of Duty, and a lot more things were to be added. But the community aren't stupid. The community know that the foundation of Call of Duty and the popularity that it's based upon its simplicity of the game's engine, since Modern Warfare 2 and the likes of the days like Black Ops 1 and around that time have gone downhill or have faded away. And a lot of people aren't liking this new stuff like this crate system where we can get things out of crates and we have to pay through microtransaction, mainly to get what we want because the grind within the game currency in-game is very hard to get. So this glitch, I mean, first of all, it's getting Infinity Ward to lose a lot of money and Activision, which would be a reason in itself to ban us all, but they didn't. They removed basically anything that we had left that we would have used instantly anyway because they thought we may have still had it. Well, no, we did the glitch, we did this exploit. A lot of people had over 10,000 keys at once, so why would you just remove things that we've already used? Because they're scared. They're scared to lose even more of a player base than they already have, and I'm even guessing the 48 hours where we could not get on, just because of the childishness that literally was that ban, a lot of people won't be playing Infinite Warfare anymore. And honestly, that 48 hours was all it took for a lot of people. I know a lot of people, and a lot of people on Twitter are complaining, saying, you know what, Call of Duty has really shown its true colours right now. Infinity Ward as a developing company also have, and it shows that Call of Duty is never going to go back to what it originally was, what everybody loved. I'm not going to be like, here to say boots on the ground was the best, because overall, you don't need just boots on the ground to make a game great. You just need a fair system. And the fair system would have been to wipe everybody's armory out, but they couldn't have done that because people actually did buy COD points and they couldn't decipher between who had bought COD points because they don't even know how to fucking track things in their game without a leaderboard or anything, yet alone knowing who's got COD points before and not, so they couldn't wipe out armories because they didn't know how many keys people had had and how many people had actually bought COD points on an account where they maybe did the glitch and not done it with as many keys and maybe spent like $100 on COD points if people really still do that. And that's the reason that they were very scared, because whatever move they took was critical after those 48 hours. They could have made things better by adding leaderboards into the game, you know, instead of the 600 different items in supply drops that are only exclusive to get in supply drops, to boost their fucking sales again and compensate for all the money they lost with a key glitch because there was not as much in the game back then, and they want to add more so people do want to get more out of supply drops right now, even though half the content's just literally copy and pasted because it's just different, earning us about 15% more XP if you get a similar variant. It's stupid. It almost makes salvage pointless, and it was pointless to begin with anyways for people who did this glitch, because think about it, we didn't need it. If we had unlimited keys, we did not need to craft weapons, but now we don't anyways because we can get lots of weapons and have so many chances of getting nuke variants, which is basically what anybody wants to get right now for a variant in Infinite Warfare, because I mean there's not too many that are overpowered, not to mention like the MV4, Flatline, Chaos, whatever, but still, and the Ripper and everything like that. People want nuclear variants, and people want to get the Deatomizer Strike because it's the highest kill streak in Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, and now everybody has a larger chance of getting that variant, which in itself, Infinite Warfare have played themselves, because people are going to be playing the game again, and despite whether they get keys or COD points, they've got a bigger chance of getting these nuke variants, and a lot of the stuff, it seems half-assed within the game. There's tons of common camos, and I don't understand why they can add 1 year's worth of content in one night, but not add leaderboards at the start of a game that they had 3 years to make. It just really, really grinds my gears, and I don't understand. But I want to know your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. What do you think of this ban? What do you think of Call of Duty's current state because of this ban, and even just overall? Because, I mean, this explains a lot about it and the standpoint or kind of barricade that we're at up against the wall right now with what should we do with Call of Duty, because at the end of the day it's not going to go back to where it was, and that's sad to say, but at the end of the day they could make it at least a little bit better by going back to the basics and having things that we had in older games to start out with, like leaderboards. I like COD, but one thing they consistently are doing, they're fucking up, and that isn't a good factor. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you all for watching. If you can tell by the tone of my voice, I am pissed off, so I'll leave you with that. Peace out.